Hi, this is Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons, tabletop role-playing games overall, and the NPC meme. All right. Okay, so first let me define what I'm talking about today, the NPC meme. Not everybody may have seen the NPC meme. It's relatively new. It's just come out within the last couple of months. And so here's what it is. Generally, it is. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give a warning. There's going to be some political discussion within this content. I'm going to do everything I can not to choose any sides, because I'm simply trying to explain what this meme is. I am going to talk about how Dungeons & Dragons and TRPG fans and members of the Dungeons & Dragons community and the TRPG community should respond to the NPC meme, but I'm trying to keep this as bipartisan, nonpartisan as possible. Okay, but I have to talk about politics to even define the NPC meme, because it is quite partisan. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so the NPC meme, it is generally used by people who align closer to red, and by red I mean Ford F-150 in the Heartland. Okay, it generally offends or is not appreciated by blue, people who align with blue. And by blue, I mean Subaru Outback in Connecticut. All right? Okay. All right. So there's my terms, all right? All right. So generally, the NPC meme is used by people who align closer to red, all right? So with that said, what the NPC meme is, I'll give you an example of it from a Twitter perspective, okay? On Twitter, someone comes out and says, oh, the current administration, the current presidential administration, I disagree with X that they're doing, right? And then, so that would be someone more aligned with the blue side. And then someone aligned with the red side would come in and they would post an NPC image, okay? This image is a gray humanoid shape with an L-shaped nose, literally the letter L, right? And then below that, or along with that image, they would say, "That's enough, NPC," right? And so they're saying, they're kind of shutting. They're saying that they shouldn't say anymore, right? The red, the person who's more aligned with red is saying to the person aligned with blue, is being dismissive of their commentary on what the current presidential administration is doing by calling that person who did the original presidential, anti-post, by calling them an NPC, saying you don't matter, right? Like saying you're just like you're not fully statted out, right? Like that you are not player character material, right? And also saying you're an NPC in that you're just kind of stock, you're cookie cutter, right? So the NPC meme is used to insult people. It's used to be dismissive, and generally the flow is it's used by people more aligned on the red side, and they're using it against people who are aligned on the blue side, okay? This just came out, all right? Now, I hear you, you're like, wait, well, this is a weird topic, Scott. Why are you even talking about this, right? Well, the reason I'm talking about this is several reasons. I'll explain them. So one, I have this idea, I've always had it, that Dungeons & Dragons, which is the flagship of the entire TRPG industry, is important from a political, a cultural, and a societal, and a sociological. It's important at a political level, at a cultural level, and at a sociological level, right? At the level of society, right? So I'm very, very, very convinced of this. I believe Dungeons & Dragons is an element of Americana. And I really think it affects our politics, it affects our culture, and it affects our society, right? And I think the NPC meme is 100% aligns. It is evidence to what I've been saying all along, that if you think Dungeons & Dragons is merely a game, maybe you're not paying attention, right? Right? It certainly is a game, right? But its ramifications and its impact go beyond our TRPG community. That is what I'm saying here, right? All right, so if that's the case, if Dungeons & Dragons does have political, cultural, and social ramifications, right? If its effects reach beyond our community, we should be aware of what is happening with our game. So one of the reasons why I'm bringing this out is I'm a TRPG commentator, and I am commentating on this event that is happening, right? Now, one of the reasons why is not everybody knows it's happening because, all right, let's talk about the life of a meme, all right? Now, this is very broad strokes. This is macro level, right? There are a large number of people who believe that a life of a meme is the following, right? Birthed at 4chan, grows to Reddit, grows to Twitter, grows to Tumblr, grows to Instagram, dies on Facebook, right? So that, by the time you're seeing a meme on Facebook, you're about the last person seeing that meme, and that meme is essentially dead, right? Okay. That is very broad strokes. Not every single meme is born on 4chan, right? But there are quite a few memes where that is actually the life of the life arc of a meme, right? Now, again, actually, I'm still talking about why I'm talking about a meme. Why am I taking the time to talk about memes? Well, one of the reasons why is I've started to study memes, and the reason why I've started to study memes is actually I'm studying memes because of Dungeons and Dragons, right? So when I play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm very blessed, fortunate to be in multiple groups, and one of my groups has Gen Y and millennials. All right, so Gen Y are between, so it's baby boomer, Gen Y, millennial, Gen Z. Okay, so I'm Gen Y generally, right? I'm Gen Y. And I play with millennials. So Gen Ys are older than millennials, right? All right. So when I'm at a table that had, like 4 or 5 players, and we got 2 Gen Ys and we got 2 millennials, often millennials will be using their phones at the table more than Gen Y, right? There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. And I had started to pay it. Now, at our table, we are allowed, in one of my groups, we use laptops and we use phones. Okay. Often we'll all have the PDF for the book. And so we'll be using the PDF from a phone or from a laptop, right? So it is allowed to do that. And the way we do, we actually have etiquette for using laptops and phones at a TRPG game. Which is, you keep your sound down and you only use your phone or your laptop while it's not your turn, especially if you're in a really grindy combat situation and it's 15 minutes between, right? It's okay, within our group, that's accepted, right? So I noticed that the millennials almost always, at some point in the evening, would go to a meme site and read memes for half an hour to an hour. And I was like, but that's weird, right? And then I noticed that when we would go out and we would just get dinner at Denny's or Applebee's or somewhere, when I'm with millennials, at least one of them will take out their phone and they'll start reading memes and they'll share memes, right? And I realized, memes are like sustenance for millennials in some ways, right? They use them a lot. Now, this is broad strokes, macro level, right? Not every millennial needs a meme infusion every hour, but a lot of the millennials I know do, right? It's literally like food and water, right? Like millennials really dig, at the macro level, millennials really dig memes, and I had no idea that this was growing as a thing, right? That memes were so important to millennials, and also, so I was like, that's really odd. So I started learning about it, right? And I learned, and one of the things, and another reason that increased my interest in memes, right, was the movie Solo. I love the movie Solo. I was really excited. The new Star Wars film Solo. I was really excited about Lando Calrissian being in that film. I really liked seeing Lando Calrissian in that film. I love that film. I really enjoyed the Solo film. And I was deeply, deeply upset. And there was absolutely a period of darkness for Scott Garibay when Solo failed at the box office. Okay. And one of the reasons why Solo failed at the box office is, in my opinion, a meme, right? And the traction was this. Soy Boy was established as a meme. Soy Boy was then morphed to Soy Lo, right? saying, if you like the movie, and this came out before the movie came out, and so people were using this meme to say Soylo, and they were saying, if you like the movie Solo, you are a soy boy. It was insulting and it was dismissive, right? And but now it's okay to insult. I'm a big dude. You can insult me, right? Words are words. Sticks and stones are sticks and stones, right? But the reality is, it wasn't a big deal to me that somebody was, because before the movie was coming out, I was super hyped to see Solo. And then a lot of my friends were posting, some of my friends, I would say, I wouldn't say a lot. A few of my friends were posting this Soylo image, right? And I was offended. I was like, hey man, you're saying I'm a soy boy for wanting to go see this movie, right? Now the reality is, whatever, you've insulted me and you've been dismissive of me, right? That's not going to get me to research further anything or get my fur ruffled, right? What really did get my fur ruffled and what made me continue to go deeper into researching memes deeper is understanding that meme was absolutely successful. In my opinion, without a doubt, the Soylo meme hurt the Solo film, which means it hurt the Star Wars franchise, which means J. Scott Garibay cares about it deeply, right? I do not like anything that hurts the Star Wars franchise. Excuse me. In fact, that's about the thing that's going to upset Scott Garibay the most, right? By the way, I'm aware of talking into myself. I'm talking about myself in third person here. Sorry. All right. So, it really is. It's upsetting to me, right? So, but I realized memes are memes are a tool for using humor to accomplish goals, right? And as soon as I understood that, I understand, okay, memes are a new form of language. They're a tool that uses humor to accomplish goals, and you can no longer ignore them, right? If you're going to be knowledgeable about the politics of America, the culture of America, and the society of America, you need to understand memes, right? Well, guess what? That's why we're talking today. So the NPC meme is now brushing up against Dungeons & Dragons, right? So we need to understand what it is, and now we need to determine how we respond to this, right? So I've explained what the meme is, right? And now I want to talk about how we, as a Dungeons & Dragons community, we as a TRPG community, I'm a member of both, right? How we should respond to this meme. All right, so here's what we want to do, all right? Now, in my opinion, to me, Dungeons & Dragons is more important. It's certainly, all right, so here's the thing. To me, let's do it. Let's say it this way. Both the Dungeons & Dragons community and the TRPG community should have exactly the same response to this meme. And that response should be to do not share it. Do not, so if you see one of these NPC memes, do not like, do not share, do not retweet, right? And actually, I wouldn't engage at all. And the reason why is this meme should absolutely die on the vine. And the reason why is the growth of this meme can mean absolutely nothing good for Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop role-playing games, right? So, and by the way, there is a little bit of a remove at the cultural level when people so the reporting I found on this meme, most of the people who were doing reporting on it connected NPC as a video game term. It's not a video game term. It's our term. We came up with it. It's a role-playing game term. We came up with it way before video games did, right? It is, NPCs are an RPG term. Now, it's okay that the media is ignorant of that and thinks that it's a video game term. It's absolutely not a video game term. It is used by video gamers. They're using our term within their framework, right? But we should understand that the source of NPC is us. It is Dungeons & Dragons. It is TRPGs, right? Video gamers co-opted it, right? They didn't source it. That's my point. So that's important to understand. But overall, to me, Dungeons & Dragons and the tabletop role-playing game community and tabletops in general should never be used to insult people and be dismissive of people. That is absolutely not a good use of anything in our hobby, right? So I, for one, am committing myself to not sharing, not liking, not spreading this meme in any way, right? I'm making sure I'm knowledgeable of it, and I'm making sure that I do what I can to make sure it does not spread any farther. And I would encourage you as part of the Dungeons & Dragons community, as part of the TRPG community, to do the same. Make sure you do not engage with these, do not like them, do not retweet. This is not good in any way for the Dungeons & Dragons community or for the TRPG community. And overall, I think every member of the Dungeons & Dragons community, of the TRPG community, should absolutely commit themselves to never using any of our games to insult people or be dismissive of people, right? I think, overall, it's just not a good use of the hobby, all right? So that is me just explaining that the NPC meme now exists, right? And then also giving my opinion on how the Dungeons & Dragons community and how the TRPG community should interact with that meme. And also, this is me a little bit saying, hey, I told you, Dungeons & Dragons, without a doubt, is part of American politics, it's part of American culture, and it's part of American society, and that the ramifications of Dungeons & Dragons clearly go beyond our game tables. I mean, that just seems like if you're not catching that, you're just not paying attention. I'm really curious what your opinion is. Please let me know in the comments, and also please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much.